the development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
I don't know whether rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 6, 3, 2, 9, 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Welcome to Troubled Minds Radio, Thanksgiving style. I am your host, Michael Strange. I am here with your co-host, Frank Pierce. And we would like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What up, guys? It's Tuesday. It feels like Friday. It's free for all night. We're talking about aliens, we're talking about conspiracy, we're talking about space news, we're talking about all kinds of interesting things that the technocracy, that the media, that the government, that they don't want us talking about. But we're doing it anyway. We're doing this anyway. So if you're new, well, forget it. We're just going to talk about whatever. We're just doing whatever tonight. Let's just go right into this. Hold on. I am way too excited about this. I am way too excited. Here we go. We're getting right out of the intro music. Check this out. We're doing this new. We're doing this different. And right out of the intro, hear that? The music is just about done. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, Frank Pierce.
Hello, I'm Frank Pierce, and we're back again. Lots of exciting things to talk about today. Tons of neat, interesting stories. Stuff that'll make you question what's really going on around you. Stuff that'll make you doubt the narrative they're pushing down your throat with every gasp of effort. Now, again, join our Discord if you want to talk. So we'll be posting the link intermittently. You can join in, free chat client, and hop on the air with us. And tell us about aliens. Tell us about ghosts. Tell us about all sorts of strange stuff. And the phone number. So you can... What's the phone number again? I can never remember. Why don't you tell us the phone number? Call in, leave a message, or get live on air. What's the phone number?
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is a live show, so if you guys want to be part of the show, the number to call is 702-957-1037. You can find that right on the website, troubledminds.org, or click the Discord link. You can also find that on troubledminds.org. So if you're not exclusive Facebook here and you're watching somewhere else, no problem. Just go to our website. We have the phone number up. We have the Facebook or the Discord link up, and you can join us there. You can be part of the show. And this is a free-for-all show. So we're talking about what you guys want to talk about. We've pre-selected some articles. Thank you, Frank. And we're going to talk about a bunch of those. But if we get derailed tonight, so be it. So if you guys, anything that you wanted to get to that we haven't got to, that's what tonight's about. Tonight is about you. So we've got some shout-outs, and then we'll get into some of that, and then we'll ask Frank what he thinks about the universe and about reality and about people and about aliens and, academia, the government, all the fun things. Okay, so shout-outs. Let's see. Scott gets first. What's happening, Scott? Thanks for showing up, buddy, and thanks for helping me out. The stream still says it's fetching on Facebook, so thanks for confirming it's actually up. Lavelle, Scott, Michael, Todd, what's happening? Jose, Nino, what's happening, guys? Thanks for showing up. Free for all night. So if you guys have some topics you want to bring up and you want us to talk about, we can do that. 702-957-1037. Click on the Discord link. You can find both of those on the website, troubledminds.org. And let's do this. What we got, Frank? How do you feel, man? How you feeling tonight?
A bit tired, but I'm excited for this story that we're going to look at. This is probably, again, the most significant news ever. So let's open the story from the New Jersey Herald. Treasure hunter flip-flops on returning missing gold coins. So again, here's a lesson for you folks. Do not tell the government when you find gold. They'll use every opportunity, get a power at their disposal to take that gold from you. So this guy funded a treasure hunting expedition. He actually found a wrecked Spanish ship, dove down, got some gold bars. And I looked into this case in more detail. And, he had to pay his taxes and he had to do all this kind of stuff. And so he lost a good portion of his gold because he reported it.
What just happened?
I'm not sure what happened. We had some nice Spanish music playing, so maybe we're setting the scene for a Spanish galleon wrecked on the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, don't tell the government when you find gold, because they'll take it from you. There you go.
They'll take it from you. What the heck? I seriously have no idea where this is coming from. Oh, there we go. It's, believe it or not, it's Bill Nye the Science Guy. That guy can go to hell. Okay, sorry about that. That's autoplay that Frank loves so much. Okay, back to your treasure hunting. Sorry, Frank. Completely my fault. You can blame me for that one.
Yeah, essentially, you should never report this kind of stuff because they will find a way to take it from you. They want every ounce of your gold, and they will do whatever they can to get it from you. And that's the story. That's essentially all there is to it. This is a beat we kind of cover on a regular basis about, you find some treasure. It's not really your treasure. They'll take it from you. They'll do what they want with it. You'll never get a cent. And this guy, now he's a fugitive. Actually, I like this guy now. I didn't read the last line before I pulled this up. Thompson never repaid his investors. He became a fugitive and fled to the great state of Florida. So there we go. He's not giving back that gold. Amen.
The great state of Florida. Holy smokes. Spoken like somebody who's never been to Florida. Okay, so more shout-outs. Steven, what's up? What's happening, man? Thanks for showing up. What do you guys think? So, okay, this is a treasure hunter has taken back a pledge to turn over 500 missing coins minted from gold found in a shipwreck off the South Carolina coast. Right? But he's not giving it back, right? He's not giving it back. Do you blame him? If he gives it, he's got two options, right? So he gives it back to the mafia who funded him, or the mafia government just comes and takes it. So he disappeared into Florida instead. That's a pretty good option, right? The third option. See? Testing. Frank. Okay, anyway.
Yep. I'm here. I was just pulling up the next story. But yeah, like, what are you going to do? So I did look into this in more detail. This guy received funding from a group of people, and he went to find the ship, and he actually brought up a bunch of gold, and then he did repay some of it. Like, he fulfilled his obligations. And then the courts got involved. They sued him because they wanted more of the profits. and the courts are involved now, and they ordered essentially that he turn over everything, but he didn't even have it anymore, or so he claims. Like, if I were this guy, I'd claim I didn't have it anymore either. Amen. But anyway, yeah, don't give the government your gold. Don't tell anyone about your gold. They'll just take it from you. So that's a story. This is something we've covered quite often. We see this come up time and time again. Don't tell them. I don't know why this bothers me so much. This is a little pet peeve. This really gets to me, is the government taking your gold away. Don't.
Seriously. When I get some gold, it's going to happen one day. You'll see. When I get some, the government's not going to know. All right, there you go. There's the meme. We need a shirt that says that, right? Never tell the government about your gold. James, what's up? Thanks for showing up. He says, what's wrong with Florida, brah? It was a joke, man. It was total joke. If he had said Nebraska, I'd have said the exact same thing. And I'm sure Nebraska is a lovely place. So anyway, there you go. It was a joke. Steven says, remember the scientist who discovered a way to bend metal like it was paper, but then he mysteriously died and took all his files with him, or his files disappeared? That's a good question. I haven't heard of that one. Bend metal like it was paper. Heard that one, Frank?
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, if you have a link, throw it in, because this is the show for it. We're looking at all this stuff. So if you have crazy stories, again, that was a crazy story we just covered. There's no bearing on anything we talk about on a usual basis, but there we go. So if you have a link for this scientist bending metal like paper, I'd love to.
Yeah, if you got it, Steven, drop it in the chat here. We'll pull it up. We'll talk about it. So Scott says, more like Bill Nye, the science guy. I agree with you 100%. The guy's full of crap. We'll get to that in a sec. Steven says we're kind of echoing spies. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you guys are spies. Are you admitting to us you're a spy? I don't know. And then Nino wants to say, hello, Earthlings. Hello, Martians. Lavelle says, they said NASA found a second Earth. Has anyone heard about this? Yes. I think, wait. Maybe. A second, like a super Earth, right? I think we just covered that in the last show. They found a super Earth that was 6 light years away. If I'm off on that one, let me know. But we just talked about that. Literally, last show we talked about it. So if you're thinking of something else, Lavelle, let us know, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, what do you think? Has anybody here actually found government gold? Or let's say you're out in the desert, right? Let's say we're just kind of kicking it. We're having like a UFO, watch the UFO type of night out in the desert, and you stumble across like an old coffee can buried underneath a tree or underneath a cactus, and it happens to be full of, Billy the Kid's treasure. Well, what do you do? I think we have to have a poll, right? Like, if you found Billy the Kid's treasure, what's the first thing you would do? What's the first thing you would do, Frank?
Well, I'd put a bullet in the back of your head, and then I'd take it and I'd get out of there.
Oh, you're such a nice guy. Okay, can I have a request then? Can you at least put like one of the gold coins between my teeth? So when you shoot me and like I get to like bite down or something and like make it be part of me forever. That'd be amazing. Then I'll become the treasure. Yeah. You're a dick.
Sorry.
Why you gotta be a dick? Okay, so there you go. We're not gonna put a poll up on that, but
okay, we got to go off topic again. I don't think many people realize on your property that you own, oftentimes, depending on where you live, living rights, you do not have forestry rights. You don't have any rights except to live there. So, one day you want to dig a bunker to protect yourself from the government. Obviously, that's what.
Obviously.
Okay, can't even keep it straight. This gold story is getting. You want to dig down, and you're digging down, or maybe you want to build like a little shed in the back with some of the trees in your property. You don't have those rights. So they can come and seize your property should you dig down in the ground and find some kind of a valuable ore, or if you start, harvesting some black walnut trees from your backyard, very expensive wood. You can't do it. So again, this is more about a freedom. This is our freedoms, and they're always consistently infringing on these things and taking them from us. And I really don't like it, and it gets to me.
Can you tell? I think Frank's triggered. I think we've done it. I think you know what? He's so triggered, I think maybe Frank found some gold. I don't have proof, but I kind of.
Quitting the show. This is my last.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so, yeah. So there we go. So Todd says NASA finds a new Earth every year, and that's the fact. And Michael says they found a second Earth way back when, and all of a sudden they find it again. Now, you know what? They keep calling these things super Earths, right? And they keep finding them, and they're everywhere. I think that's the news, right? They're everywhere. And
yeah, the thing they don't tell you about these super Earths is that oftentimes they'll have 6 or 7 times the gravity of the Earth, right? They're so heavy, so massive. And the reason they can see these planets is because, again, they're so large in comparison to our own Earth that they reflect enough light and they give off enough emissions of whatever that they can detect what's on the planet. But yeah, these things have super heavy gravity. So we did cover this in the previous episode. I think this one we're talking about, this giant planet that they found, what was it, like 10 light years away, 20 light years away?
6.
Yeah, it had like 5 times the gravity of Earth. So, of course, they don't mention that in the news article because that would kill your hopes. But too heavy to live there, too much gravity to actually do anything.
Unless we get some of that, sorry, I'm trying to eat here. If we get that, if we get one of them, what do you call him? What's his name? Bob Lazar. If we get one of them gravity bending things, we could put on that planet and live there, right? We could just decrease the gravity of the object, and then boom, Earth. Part 2. Part 3. Who knows? Who knows, man? This stuff's happening. This stuff is happening. Okay.
You ever see that show, Earth 2.0? That was a great show. Way back in the day, Earth 2.0. Amazing show.
I have not. Actually. Interesting. I thought I was making that up. Apparently not. Stephen calls that the Jesse James effect. Frank shooting me in the back of the head for Billy the Kid's treasure. That's there we go. That's another good t-shirt. Todd says, you don't own your property. The government owns everything. You just pay for it. There you go. Yeah, right. You own it in slices until they take every little bit, or something like that. I think I was trying to say they're taking it from you.
There's another rant. I got to interrupt again. I'm sorry to keep interrupting.
Do it.
Interesting that if you're a citizen, depending on the area you live, of course, because there's different jurisdictions. If you're a citizen and you buy property, they can take it from you. They can seize it. Again, you don't have those mining rights. You don't have those forestry rights. But if you're, for example, and this has been happening quite often, if you're a Chinese national, foreign national that comes over and buys property, you actually own more of that property, more of the rights of that property than an American citizen. So that's the kind of stuff that they're selling our land from us. They're taking it from us, and foreign nationals are buying it, and they actually have more rights to the property than we do. So that's another, again, has nothing to do with aliens or UFOs, but interesting that we have less rights than other people. So again, they're just trying to take everything from us.
Yeah, one gold coin at a time. Yes. Okay, so after Todd said that, you don't own your property, the government owns it, Michael says, you have 0 rights. Everyone go to my live video I reposted earlier today. There you go. If you guys want to check out Michael's live video, you know where to go. Facebook, click his name. He says, it's proof and fact the Constitution does exist. It's a piece of paper. I went up against the federal government with a lawsuit against police. Give us a call, Michael. We want to hear about it. We want to know if rights are real or if they're a figment of our imagination. That would be an amazing topic to talk about. So 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link, which is on troubledminds.org, right there on the top of the page, and put you in. We get you on Discord, talk to Frank and Mike about the Constitution. We'll talk about rights. Do we really have rights, or is it just a big, scary illusion to keep us in check? Joe says this would be a fun convo around a campfire with whiskey. With whiskey? Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then Michael says, good luck, everyone. Jesus is the truth. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good luck to you as well. And Todd, being the troll that he is, says, Jesus is an imaginary figure. Is anybody surprised? Troll culture. What's up, Todd? Leave the man alone. Jeez. And he says, and it's against the law to grow food on your property because the government can't tax you for it. That's pretty dirty. Turco, what's up? He says, what are you guys' thoughts on the Parker probe breaking the record on the closest man-made object to closest to the sun? That's a good topic. It's a good topic. The Parker solar probe. Parker solar probe. What do you think about that one, Frank? Am I going to start raging about that?
Yeah.
Or?
So we've covered that quite a lot. They sent this thing out there. They're really not sure why. They're not telling us the full story. That's our opinion anyway, is they've sent this thing out there for some reason, and they haven't explained it to us. Great, we can get readings from the sun. Wonderful, whip-de-doo-dah day. This thing is also expected to burn up, so it's not a permanent installation. It's not going to orbit the sun like a planet would and continuously take readings. This thing is going to whiz by a couple of times, then they expect it, the heat shielding on it to fail, and this thing's going to burn up, essentially. So what's the reason they sent it? And we were debating this in the previous episode. Go check that out. Great show. Of course, they're all great shows. Check it out. My thought, and I'll let you get to your thought, is that this is some kind of advanced warning system. So again, we had this in 1857. We had the Carrington event, and essentially there was some solar instability. It bombarded the Earth with radiation, and the telegraph wires, because that's the only electronics they had back then, the telegraph wires all lit on fire. They absorbed so much of this solar radiation, they lit on fire. So that kind of thing happened today. The world as we know it would end. Your cars wouldn't work. You know, the grocery stores wouldn't work. The water wouldn't work. Everything would shut down. Everything. Nothing is shielded except for government installations. So my thought is that this is some kind of advanced warning system to let the elites scurry off into their deep underground military bases and avoid the catastrophe, like to get safe before the rest of the citizenry does.
Agreed. I'm getting text messages here. I need to turn my phone off. What are we talking about?
I can see you're prepared for today. We're talking about the Parker Solar Probe.
I know, I'm just kidding. Kimberly, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Nice to see you're not banned anymore. I'll get back to the Parker Solar in just one sec. Todd says, not being a troll when I said that I was being serious. I know, Todd. It's okay, though. I'm just saying let the man have his Jesus, right? It's okay. Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean he can't. So it's all right, man. It's all right. We don't have to point out every time we think somebody's wrong, so it's all good. What's up, Kenny? Thanks for showing up. Okay, so then Parker Solar Probe, and I'll read some more comments. So again, free-for-all show. If you guys want to talk about whatever, we're talking about whatever. So please give us a call, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link right there on troubledminds.org. We'll put you in Discord with Frank and Mike. You can talk about anything you want. We'll listen. We'll be nice. We'll pretend to be interested, even if we're not. But most times we actually are interested. How about that? So, Parker Solar Probe. I think it's a military thing. I think it's actually they're trying to find some way to harness the power of the sun, to use it as a weapon. I think that's what the Parker Solar Probe actually is. We'll see, but we'll see if time proves me right when some solar flare burns Australia off the map. You'll see. I get to say I told you so. But I think that's what's going on with the Parker Solar Probe. We'll keep an eye on it because it's one of those stories that fascinates us because it's like sending a bunch of money into the sun. It seems like a big waste. So yeah, that's my thought. That's my thought on Parker Solar. Okay, Michael continues with his he says he has rights or no rights. We have no rights. He says, I went to the local news channels with the paperwork and jury trial of the police making up a crime against me and was acquitted. Give us a call, man. We want to hear about it. This is the thing, right? So if there's an actual constitution and we have rights as American citizens and you think we don't, I think that's pretty pertinent, right? And if you have actual evidence and you went to court against the cops, we'd love to hear it. Please call us. And he says, I went to sue, got all the way to final pretrial date, October 31st, 2018, and the jury trial of November 14th. And all of a sudden I was sent papers saying that, never mind, they win. Wait, they win? Yeah.
I think he wins. Yeah, that's a good point, is you think you have rights. You do not have rights. You have the right to fight for your rights. You have the right to demand and stand up for your rights, but you have no rights automatically guaranteed. So you have to get out there. You have to fight for these things. You have to talk about these things. You have to raise awareness. And interesting, as soon as he started raising awareness, the whole thing goes away. Interesting.
Well, yeah, the press seems to control the world at this point, right? So if you can get something into the press, into the mainstream, then anything can be done. What about that? Speaking of getting something into the mainstream, what about that? Did you hear about that hobo that teamed up with that couple people about his last $20 to fill up their gas tank. Did you hear about that one?
No? What?
No? Are you serious? Okay. Okay. I'm going to slow down, back this up. So there was a while back, there was a young lady that posted a something on social media, okay? And she said that she was out of gas, and somewhere near a gas station, a homeless gentleman came by and offered her his last $20 to his whole name. He was homeless. That's all he had. But he saw she was in distress, and he actually gave her his last $20. Okay? So, of course, she posts a picture of herself with this guy. And what do you think? The thing goes insanely viral. Right? Insanely viral. And so...
Propaganda. This is a fake news story.
Fake news. Then you've heard of this. So the way this goes is... I
haven't heard of it. I'm telling you right now. So this is... I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm telling you right now. This is propaganda. If you see these feel-good stories... So again, I have no foreknowledge about what you're about to say. But there's some angle here. Some kind of something going on. This is suspicious already. Keep going.
Okay. So then the couple puts up a... so the woman and her husband puts up a GoFundMe for the homeless man. Okay. Because it's going viral. All kinds of news stations are picking this up. And, of course, people start donating. And they get somewhere in the range of like 300 grand or something like that. So, right, there's a lot of money. But what happens is the couple there that started the GoFundMe, of course, it's in their name. So they take 2/3 of the money. They give 75 grand to the homeless guy. And he takes that money and he sues them to get the rest of it. So there we go. You were completely right. It was all fabricated. It was all a scam. They were all in on it together. And specifically, they duped the guy. So he was supposed to get a bigger cut or something, and they stiffed him and gave him some money, but they kept the rest of it. They bought like a new car, and But you're totally right. It was completely fabricated. It wasn't even a real thing, and they did it to get into the media. And look at the power of the media. A fake feel-good story, and there we go.
I don't blame the media. I blame the sheeple that see this kind of thing and they just, oh, that's such a heartwarming story. Here's some money. Like, come on,
right, exactly. That's the best $20 he ever spent. Right? It turned into 300 grand. What's up, Fred? Thanks for showing up, man. He says, "Good evening, gents." Good evening to you, sir. Okay, so there's some chat going on about the Jesus and the not Jesus, but I don't think we're going to touch that because this isn't really a Jesus, not Jesus type of show. So, let's
it's
drop.
A free for all. Come on, it's a free for all. Let's hear your...
I don't want to talk about Jesus, not Jesus. You know why? Because it's never going to end, right? It's never going to end. I'm just saying, Todd, if the man or the woman, if they want their Jesus, let them have it. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying whether I believe it or not. I'm just saying you have a right to not believe it, just like they have a right to believe it. And that's it. I think it's too divisive.
You know who has a lot of gold stored away? Is the Catholic Church. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
That's true. That's a fact. Okay, so we're dropping Jesus here. So we're dropping Jesus. So if you want to talk about anything but Jesus tonight, please give us a call. Number 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link right on the top of troubledminds.org. We'll put you on. You can talk to Frank and Mike. You can talk to everybody listening, and we can talk about all kinds of things. So if you guys want to continue talking about Jesus, that's fine. We're going to keep on trucking. What's the next article here there, Frank? We're not doing Jesus. Not happening. Free for all except Jesus.
Okay. Let's go into a feel-good story.
All right, what do you got?
Pardon me.
Whoa.
I'm losing it today. I can't keep it straight. Feel good story here from ancientorigins.net. Papua New Guinea witchcraft, ancient spirits, and deadly modern witch hunts live on in the modern era. So we think we have it bad here. We think the government's infringing on our rights, taking our gold away. But it's interesting that in these places around the world, Papua New Guinea, highlighted in this article, there's some stuff going on you would not believe. Witch hunts currently going on. And this is a government-sanctioned event. So the government is sanctioning these people to go out and hunt witches. And of course, there's other people in the government saying, no, you can't hunt witches. But other people, they're supporting it. And so what do we have here in Papua New Guinea? What's going on? Diet of human brains help Papua New Guinea tribe resist disease. You know, human bone daggers in New Guinea were used to strike fatal wounds. And there's witchcraft, hunger, war, and disease. So there is stuff going on in this place in Papua New Guinea that I don't even think we can accept in this modern era. Like, when's the last time you heard of someone eating human brains as some kind of medical help thing, or crafting daggers out of human bones? This kind of stuff is going on in this era, and it's unbelievable, quite frankly. This is so far divorced from our reality, what we live in, that I can't even take it seriously. You heard me cracking up a minute ago.
Into the modern world.
Oh, you got the autoplay going, can I see?
Yes, I do. Okay, I found your article. I didn't have it up. Okay, there it is. Headline. I'm going to read this so I'm caught up. Papua New Guinea witchcraft. Ancient spirits and deadly modern witch hunts live on. Wow.
Yeah, so they say here, if someone got sick, died, or even lost their livestock due to illness or predation, it was commonly suspected to be due to witchcraft and sorcery. So the villagers would get together, they'd hunt these witches down, and they would eat their brains and, you know, craft tools out of their bones and whatnot. But again, they even say here in the article, it seems too far-fetched to be real, but it is. This kind of stuff is actually going on. And, you know, it's just, I can't believe it. But it's actually happening. So you think about this, you think about all these strange things going on in the world. And to me, this is stranger than aliens. This is stranger than, you know, deep underground military bases. This is incredible that they're actually hunting down witches as a pastime. They're ongoing cannibalism all over the place, and they're actually using human bones to make daggers and other farming implements. What's going on here?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. What is going on here? This is in Papua New Guinea. This is supposed to be a Western country, like an actual first world country, right? I'm confused.
Yeah, so here we go. In an infamous case in 2013, a 20-year-old mother was burned alive. And then, to top it off, her daughter was later accused of witchcraft and tortured as well. So, yeah, I look at this stuff. This is important. I think, let me sum all this up. Let me sum it up. Summary time. We think we have it bad here. We think there's so many bad things here. Look at Trump and the media and Russia, and all this kind of stuff. At least your neighbor is not stringing you up and burning you alive for being a witch and then torturing your daughter and then eating both your brains, right? So, perspective. Knowing about different things, knowing about history, perspective, right? It does help. So, this is why this civilization we've built is a good thing. Right? And unfortunately, you know, they're not doing so well over there, but some perspective really does help you put things in place and understand the world around you.
Agreed. I'm very glad. Excuse me. Nobody's eating my brains, or, you know, anybody on the block, or in the city, hopefully in the city. But yeah, you're right. But okay, so I guess this is not. This seems to be like village living. I thought New Guinea was an actual first world country. Apparently not. No. There's cities and stuff there. So there are large urban areas, let's put it that way. But the vast majority of it is forested, densely forested, tribal areas. So it's kind of one and part the other, right? So they have both of these modern day amenities, and then go out in the country a little bit, and they're living back in the far. Okay, I got you. Interesting. This is a good one. What do you guys think? Other than Jesus, do you think it's cool to be eating your neighbor's brains? Well, apparently it's happening in Papua New Guinea with witchcraft and hunting these people down, and yeah, this stuff is happening. This stuff is actually happening. So we got some chat in here. They're talking about the Anunnaki and Jesus and the Bible and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, which is all good. If you Anunnaki's good. Let's see, Bible's good. Just you know, the direct question of is there or is there not a Jesus? Let's put that on the shelf. There's like 1,000 ways to spin that where it's not so like direct about, I believe it, you believe it. But what do you guys think about this one? Witchcraft? Sanctioned hunting of witches in Papua New Guinea? I don't know. That's pretty scary. It is scary. Do you have any of this going on around you, Frank? There's none of this here.
Nope. Well, deep in the woods, you never know what's going on. You see some strange things out there, strange people. But again, that's a topic I don't quite want to cover. I don't want to offend the locals. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, at least in Papua New Guinea, if you find some gold, they're not going to take it.
Well, until they eat your brains, and then they'll take it, or whatever. But yeah, okay. So,
and this is what happens when you let me pick the stories.
That's all right. This is fine. Anything to get us off Jesus. Jesus is real. Jesus is not real. Jesus is real. Jesus is not real. Okay, Frank. What do you know? What? Here's what we're gonna do to alleviate the Jesus. I'm gonna put up a poll. Jesus is real, yes or no, or I don't know. We can take the poll and then we'll read it after. How about that? That's fair. That will be our discussion. Just a poll, and then we can talk about other things.
I think let's weigh in on this Jesus issue. I'll do it if you don't want to. I'll do it. I think.
Okay.
There's various interpretations of things, right? So there is no way that we have 100% accurate representation of what happened 2,000 years ago. There's just no way. So stories change over time. They develop and they evolve and they become different things. So I think all of us, even if you're the most fervent supporter of the religion of your choice, can accept that stories change over time. And not only that, people change over time. So what they believed back then is very different than what we believe now. You see that with the revisions of these testaments and so on. And so it's interesting to think that what Todd is arguing for, and we've covered that, some kind of ancient alien Anunnaki hybrid race that's controlling the world, and what Jesus might have been, could be the exact same thing. So, this story changes and it evolves and it becomes more like us as we evolve. And they could be very well the same thing. That's
fair enough. Fair enough. Well said. Well said, Frank. So the poll is up. Was Jesus a real person, yes or no, or I don't know? Perfect, right? 1, 2, 3. However you want to put it. So that'll be our discussion. We have some other good comments here. Yeah. Good job, Frank. I couldn't have said it better. Look
at that story. Look at that story we just covered. You got witch hunts and cannibalism in Papua New Guinea. And if you were to take a Papua New Guinea native and, they emigrated to the first world and they were raised in okay, this is sounding a bit strange, but, if they were raised with Western sensibilities, even that person would go and look at what's happening there and say, what the heck is going on? Right? So it's the same thing, I think, with religion over time is you move to a different area, you start thinking different things, and all of a sudden, what's normal to some people is completely abnormal to others. And so going back 2,000 years, this difference propagates. It gets even larger. And so we really have no idea what happened in the ancient past. We can only speculate and put links together. And yeah, there we go.
There we go. Agreed. Poll is up. Was Jesus a real person? Yes, no, I don't know. We're not going to devolve into an entire Jesus show. So if you have other angles on the Jesus phenomena, or here we go. Todd says Jesus was not an alien. So things like that. If you want to talk about those types of things, fine. But full on like religious discussion here, about one particular religion. Okay, here we go. Hold on, we got some good comments. James says the government craves power, and I get that. Their power comes from controlling society, though. Destroying society by plundering and hoarding its wealth doesn't make sense. If the fact it's a superconductor is the reason, what end are they trying to achieve? And they're talking about why the government is hoarding gold. So there we go. Have a pull-up, guys. Was Jesus a real person? Yes, no? I don't know. Neil says, what's up? Thanks for showing up. He says, check out my YouTube, Skywatcher Society. The first channel to come up is mine. Only about 7 videos. Look at the one that says Faces in the Sky over Cleveland. Okay. And then wants to know, is there a way I can call in? Yes, sir. 702-957-1037. I'm talking to you, Neil. If you want to call us, that's the way to call us. And we'll put you on the show. You can talk to Frank and Mike. You can tell us all about that video. And we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it. You looking at that video?
Yeah, I'm going to say something that I
do it.
probably shouldn't say.
Wait.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
No?
Whatever.
Okay. I'm going to do it anyway. So, the comment about gold. Again, I don't know why this gets to me, this gold issue, but it does. So, look what happened in Libya when Gaddafi wanted to set up a gold-backed currency. Look what happened. You know what happened. I know what happened. We all know what happened. And that's how it ended. So they'll do anything they can to prevent that kind of thing from happening, including taking your gold from you. So just put...
I'm telling you guys, I think Frank found some gold. You're telegraphing this way too much, bro. I think you need to maybe put it in your back pocket and like not talk about it for like 2 or 3 shows. And then maybe we'll start believing you didn't find any gold. Because right now I'm starting to think. Oh, geez. Okay, a few more comments here. So, yeah, if you want to give us a call, you know what to do. Neil. Yeah, there we go, Neil. So, go to troubledminds.org. The phone number is right on top. Or you can call, or you can click the Discord link and get on Discord. That's how Frank and I are talking. Okay. The poll, guys. Was Jesus a real person? Yes, no? I don't know. Take the poll. Okay, we got more Jesus talk. More Jesus talk.
Let's embrace it. I actually found a story about an ancient painting of Jesus. Do we want
to? Sure. Sure, let's see it. What do you got? I'm
pulling it up.
All right. We're doing this. What's up, Fred? Fred says, how many bars is Frank Hoarding? Hoarding. My bad. I read that wrong.
There we go. Pull that up. Euronews. You see that in there? Yeah. So 1,500-year-old painting of the face of Jesus Christ has been discovered in southern Israel's Negev desert. So they found this painting in an ancient church in a Byzantine village. And look at that. So it's on the wall. I think they've highlighted that picture. So if you're looking at that picture, they've highlighted it in the marker or the black lines there. So this is more, reconstruction you're seeing here, but this is indeed an ancient painting of what this guy looked like. What do you think? What do you think of the resemblance?
The resemblance. I think it looks like, I'm not so sure this is Jesus, to be honest with you. Too much, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. Too detailed. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Way too detailed to be Jesus here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, let's do it. Todd's laughing. Just face it, Mike. You can't beat down the Jesus talk. Fine. So we'll do some Jesus. But please, guys, let's not devolve this into calling each other names and finger pointing and saying you're wrong, I'm right, etc. Because that's not why we're here. That's not why we do this. And you can find that anywhere else on the entire internet. So if you have a unique angle on Jesus, we'd like to hear it. But if you just want to say he's real, he's not, and point fingers and call each other's names, not interested. Okay. So, okay, there we go. Kenny says that's not real. Might as well draw a stick figure. Yeah, like I said, too detailed, right? Too detailed. Of course, Frank had to pull this one up because he's a troll. Frank's a troll at heart. He's one of the original trolls, if you guys didn't know that. What's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy? Fred, thanks for showing up. The other Fred. First Fred, second Fred. You guys can reverse
Again,
it.
I have a passion for history. I think that looking at these things, understanding them is quite interesting. So this actually depicts him in his short-haired days when he had shorter hair, and it does match with several other impressions from the ancient past. So I think the modern-day appearance, when we think of Jesus, we see the long flowing hair and the robes and whatnot, but there were some earlier impressions, earlier artist representations of a shorter-haired version. So interesting to see that these things line up. And think about that. Is you're wandering along and you see this old abandoned ruin and you go in and all of a sudden you see something that's super historically significant, lost to time, and we rediscover it and we learn new things. So interesting that at least 1,500 years ago, they were believing in Jesus. But again, 500 years, still a long time. Still a long time for the story to change and to evolve and become something.
That is a long time. What's up, Sergio? Thanks for showing up. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna say that this particular portrait could look like many millions of human beings back then. Was there a thing that actually etched his name in this? What? How are they linking this to Jesus? Come on, what's it say?
It was in a church. So it was in a church in an Israel desert, right? So it was a center, a focal point of worship. Let's put it that way. So they were worshiping this painting. That's the way to put it. So that's the link they draw. That's how they form their conclusion.
Okay, can we find a better Jesus article than this? This is, I mean, okay, I don't know. I just, I don't know. Maybe I'm not in the mood. I think I'm just not in the mood for this. I'm just not in the mood for this. But if you guys are, fine. we'll do this. Larry says, I believe much was written on Christ and the Christians by their enemies, the Romans. There we go. Hey, that's a good comment. See? So, you know, directly or indirectly, we have some conspiracy going on there, whether it was actual Jesus or some kind of smear tactic by the Romans, or maybe made up by the Romans, or who knows. Turco says, do you guys think the government is testing new weaponry on U.S. soil and its people? And do you guys think the wildfires in California are a cause of that testing? There we go. Now we're talking. Let's more down our alley here. So do take the poll, guys. Was Jesus a real person? But I like this, Turco. Thank you. What do you think, Frank? Is this you know what? Okay, I'm going to answer that first, and I'm going to say yes, Turco. They're definitely testing new weaponry on U.S. soil because they've been doing it, and I don't think they'll ever stop. Like if you go back to the 50s, they were right just outside of Las Vegas here. There's a lot of fallout that happened on St. George, Cedar City, which is kind of northeast of Vegas here in Utah, and a lot of that fallout came from the nuclear tests that happened north of Vegas. So, you know, they've been doing it, and I don't think they have any qualms about whatever happens to you or me. I really think they don't give a shit, honestly, and I think it's continuing to happen. So I know Turco's kind of pointing at the directed energy weapons and that take. Like, I'm not sure that maybe they set the fire intentionally like that, but I don't know. I mean, they've done dirty things before, right? They've definitely done dirty things before, so I don't know. What do you think about that one, Frank?
I've seen a lot of this hubbub about, laser weapons and helicopters shooting sparks, starting these wildfires. And like, come on. If I want to start a wildfire, I'll take a can of gasoline, I'll go in the woods, and I'll light the place on fire, right? And what's going to be more suspicious? What's going to fly under the radar? You know, some guy on a camping trip, accidentally burning the forest down, or a plane flying by shooting laser weapons at the forest. You know, come on now. So are they testing things? Of course they're testing things. But this whole angle about these wildfires being some kind of, weapon test run amok, that makes no sense. It really doesn't. Because you could do these things very easily. So I think a lot of people don't realize what they do to prevent forest fires is actually do a pre-burn, right? So you got a forest fire encroaching on an area. You'll move ahead of that flame front and you'll do a pre-burn. You'll burn the area out in a controlled fashion so this forest fire can't spread past that. There's no fuel because it's already being burned away. And so there were some pictures of helicopters going around dropping, flames on the ground. And that's the reason they're burning the fuel away so the fire can't spread. But yeah, there's no helicopters with laser beams starting fires. That's it.
Well, I'm open to believing it if we see some pretty good evidence. So if you guys have some evidence of that, I've seen a lot of pretty good Photoshop. If all you have to do is go to YouTube and put in California fires as a search, and you'll see tons and tons of fantastic clickbait YouTube thumbnails that pretty much have like a laser from the heavens blasting the forest, or a house or something, right? So it's it's a pretty good Photoshop, but I'm not so sure that's a real picture. So if you guys can actually find a real picture about this, we'll put it up, we'll talk about it. But it has definitely been something that's been bandied about, the direct energy weapons, and as a cause for the California wildfires. But it's there's a lot of different reasons, Also, global warming, obviously. I mean, duh. right? So if it gets warm, then, the forest gets hot, and then when the forest gets hot, it catches on fire, and it... No, stop me. Just smack me. Somebody smack me. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, so then, here we go. What do you think?
Interesting to think that we covered this a few shows ago. China was planning to put these satellites in orbits that would act as artificial suns, right? So they'd essentially be large mirrors that could focus on an area, light up a city at night. And that was the idea, save money cost on, streetlights and whatnot. But you could easily take something like that and focus the beam and burn down a bunch of forests with it. Why not?
You could do that.
No problem.
You could do that with a magnifying glass that you buy for 25 cents at a flea market. I mean,
Yeah, again, so there's some perspective. That's a good word for today. Perspective is, we can launch a gigantic mirror into space, or we can just go to the dollar store and buy a magnifying glass and start the fire ourselves. It's not, we don't need this advanced technology. That's
right. But not to say that technology doesn't exist, but being used to start these fires, I think that's another thing entirely. I would need some better evidence than just these YouTube thumbnails. No offense, right? Because we're on YouTube too. But if any of you guys have watched this show for any number of episodes, you'll realize that we believe this stuff to a degree, but we want some evidence too. We don't want to just hook, line, and sinker. We saw a YouTube video where they talked about this or that, and so obviously that must be true. It's the Ancient Aliens thing where the guy says, therefore, aliens. I mean, we don't think aliens don't exist, but, let's see some evidence. Let's see some proof. Maybe not proof, but let's see something compelling to kind of jog the conversation and, kind of get us talking about the right things instead of just saying yes or no. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So we got a poll up. Was Jesus a real person? We're going to end this soon because I'm tired of this. But we'll put up a new one. How about this is a new poll? What do you think, Frank? Unless you have a better idea, of course. The new poll is going to be, were the California wildfires started with a direct energy weapon? Yes, no, I don't know. What do you think? We'll do that next.
I'm gonna sway this poll right ahead and say, under time, under budget, I could do this with a can of gasoline. I don't need an energy weapon, and there's no reason to. There's reasons to have UFOs. There's reasons to have deep underground military bases. There's reasons to have mind control and MK Ultra. There's no reason to shoot a forest with a laser weapon when a can of gasoline would do the exact same thing. So that's my opinion. That's my vote. Vote for me.
Okay, you got it. Somebody vote for Frank. All right, so we're going to end this poll with Jesus a real person. So thank you guys for not calling each other names and devolving into that, because, like I said, you can do that anywhere else on Facebook. Let's try not to do that here. Let's be respectful to each other. And if somebody believes in Jesus, no problem, right? Or if somebody doesn't, also no problem, right? We can agree to disagree and then turn our minds to other things, other interesting things that we can agree on, right? So easy peasy. But here we go. We're ending this. Was Jesus a real person? You want to guess, Frank? We got yes, no, I don't know.
I think the only responsible answer is I don't know, because we don't know. But what are the results?
Okay, so the results are yes got 50%, no got 25%, and I don't know got the other 25%. So pretty nice, nice and square. I'm going to publish the results here so you guys can see it, but we're going to put up a new poll. But thank you for taking the Was Jesus a Real Person poll. Thanks for starting the conversation, guys, and thanks for not calling each other names and turning this into everywhere else on Facebook, because that sucks. Okay, here we go. More conversation. Neil says, sorry guys, my friend said you mentioned my name. Can I have your number? Yes, Neil, what's happening, brother? Go to troubledminds.org. Neil, I'm talking to you. Troubledminds.org. Go there. On the top of the website is the phone number, but I'll read it. 702-957-1037. If you didn't get that, go to the website. Troubledminds.org. Phone number's on top, and you can give us a call. So we are still taking calls, guys. So if you want to be part of the show, we're as you know, this is free for all. It's Tuesday night. We're doing whatever. So we just did, was Jesus a real person? So color me shocked that came up. But we did have that conversation a little bit, and we're moving on. What about the forest fires, California, or what else? What other kind of conspiracy action do you guys see happening that we may have missed? Frank and I are pretty good, but we are human after all. we have that malady that we, have 2 arms and 2 legs type of thing. Right, Frank? You do have 2 arms and 2 legs?
As far as you know.
Okay. Frank is probably the man in black from Alpha Centauri. Okay, but there we go. So the one pole is up, a new pole is going up. We're talking about the California forest fires, and were they started by direct energy weapons. So there we go. So I'll put that up in a sec, and if you guys want to call, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find both of those on troubledminds.org. That's our official website. Don't be fooled when copycats pop up, because I'll tell you what, they're about to pop up. They're coming. They're coming for us. I think Frank's making a copycat website himself. But no. The official one is troubledminds.org. You can find all our information there. Okay, so help us, Frank. Where are we headed? What are we talking about?
I posted a new link in there. You may want to check the domain before you click that. See if we want to talk about
Why? We're not talking about that. Okay, strike one. Let's pull up something you already had. Dear Lord, why? Frank.
No,
we're not talking about that. We're not doing that. Okay, what else? Something you already pulled up. Okay, I'm going to do one.
Let's open this article from Fox News. Bill Nye says that Mars colonies won't happen. And this is his quote, "Are you guys high?" So Bill Nye saying Mars colonies will not happen. Are you guys? Well, Bill Nye, bad language warning. Well, Bill Nye, why don't you go fuck yourself? Because quite frankly, this guy has been a plague. Back in the day, I remember, I don't know, you're of a similar age. We saw that show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? Did you?
I did, and he always drove me insane. Every time I turned him on, or I didn't actually ever turn him on, he was on. He'd be on, and I'd like go, really? Are we believing this guy? Come on, we're not believing this guy.
Yeah,
really?
Even back then, he was a bit of a crackpot, right? And then he fell out of popularity. And, okay, I'm going to go on a tangent here because this is a tangent show.
Do it.
This guy had to dance. He had to dance for his popularity, right? He had to go on the Dancing with the Stars or whatever to come back into the public eye, to come back into focus. And it is my opinion that when you go on these shows, you are signaling to the elite, you are signaling to the powers that be, that you will do anything for popularity. You will go on a show and dance like an idiot for popularity. And once you bow down, once you say, yes, I'm willing to be humiliated, put me on your network, they'll give you power because they know you'll be okay if they take it away from you. What do you think about that? That these shows are a test. That if you go on these shows, you're signaling to people that, yes, you can do whatever you want to me. I will accept it. So please put me on your network.
Well, I think little nod to Reddit, wink, wink here. I think Reddit would probably qualify Bill Nye as a shill, as an actual shill. I think there's a lot of that term gets bandied about, accusing people of this or that for being political or religious or this or that. But I'm telling you, if ever there was a definition of a shill, it is Bill Nye. So he's not actually a scientist, and he never has been, and he never will be. But what he does do is he takes money and he reads scripts. So he's given scripts by the powers that be, which of course are academia, the government, the technocracy, all the things we talk about, the mainstream media, right? So there, Bill Nye he's shill central, right? Am I right there, Frank? I'm pretty sure Bill Nye is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play a game here, a fun game. I'm going to read a quote by Bill Nye, and when we get to a part where you think he's shilling, I'm going to shout the words out, shill. Okay. Let's go for it. This whole idea. And you gotta be loud too, so the audience hears you. All right. So here's a quote from Bill Nye about living on Mars and terraforming the planet. This whole idea of terraforming Mars, as respectful as I can be, are you guys high? Nye said, "We can't even take care of the planet where we live."
Shill. Shill.
Exactly. You got it. You got it on one. This is global warming propaganda at its best, and this is what Bill Nye is well known for. So again, this idea that we have to somehow terraform the entire planet is ridiculous. Come on, now we don't have to do that. All we have to do is live underground or build some domes or do something. There's a multitude of options. Again, this is like this straw man argument rearing its head again. This idea that the entire planet has to become a paradise. No one said that. No one ever said that. Get the hell out of here, Bill Nye. Bill Nye, the science dude or whatever. Yeah, he's an engineer. He's not even a real scientist. I don't know. This guy rubs me the wrong way.
He's not even an engineer. He's an actor. He's okay. So I don't buy into that whole Alex Jones crisis actor bit. Okay, I think it's they do stage political protests. Okay, that's a thing. That's a real thing. It's a real thing. But crisis actors at Sandy Hook, I'm not so sure. Okay, but Bill Nye is a crisis actor. Bill Nye is it. So not only is he maybe like shill central, he's also the crisis actor. He shows up at every single global warming event and he's just spilling this garbage. It's just like, come on, buddy, really? It's like the same thing over and over again. And he's always talking about it's a closed system. We can't actually. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. We have a new poll up. It is Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. Is he right? The answers I put up. Yes, he's right. We're stuck here on Earth. Second answer, no, we're going. Third answer, you're all wrong. We've already been there. There you go. There's the take the poll, please. Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. Yes, no, or we've already been there. Please take the poll, and if you guys have comments, please call us. This is an open mic type of thing. If you want a little monologue, we'll give you the time. 702-957-1037. There was somebody that wanted to call us a ways up in the chat there. Can't remember who it is because there's so many names and so little time. But there you go. If you want to find the phone number and the Discord link, go to troubledminds.org. Everything's there. You can get on the show. We're watching the phone lines. We're watching Discord. So we're waiting for you. We're here just waiting for you guys. It's your world. This is your world. Your world, guys. And Frank's world.
Let's go back to the story here. Let's go back to the word of the day, perspective. So we got Elon Musk, reinventing the electric car, launching these rockets that can, these boosters that go up and then can land again to save on construction costs, save massively. So the cost to launch things into space is drastically reduced, I think by a factor of 10. You get this guy, this visionary genius. Of course, that's I'm blowing smoke up his ass a little bit there, but, he has actually done things. And then you got some guy who dances on the television and talks to you and, tries to brainwash you as a child. What has he done? He hasn't done anything. So look at these two things. Elon Musk actually launching rockets. Bill Nye dancing to Bill Nye. Why does anyone care what he has to say?
I don't think anybody does.
It boggles my mind. But again, he's front and center in all these talking head programs, and yeah, I think the word shill describes him quite well.
Right, and the original crisis actor, I'll even say, he's the guy that's like, the oceans are melting, guys. The oceans, they're rising. They're rising. Does anybody know? Okay, so we've kicked this around a little bit. We make fun of the global warming bit, right? Because it used to be in the 70s, it was global cooling, because there was a slight cooling trend, but then it turned into the late 80s, early 90s. It was global warming. We had the ozone bit, which is a real thing, but then it suddenly became climate change. You understand? The terminology gives it away. It gives the entire thing away. Okay, but then back to the ocean melt. 3 millimeters a year since we can track it. Look it up. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, despite what Bill Nye says. Are you guys high? 3 millimeters a year. Ocean rise. Anyway, there we go. What do you think about that one, Frank? I know that's going to trigger you.
Yeah, so we'll do a show on global warming if there's any interest. Post it in the chat if there's any interest. But again, I'd like to go back to use the word of the day again, perspective. So when there were no ice caps, when the entire world had 2, 3, 4 times the CO2 levels it does now, and there was not a speck of ice on the entire planet, we had life everywhere. We had forests, we had dinosaurs, we had pterodactyls flying through the sky, right? The planet was fine. The planet was perfectly fine. So even if that happens again, we may suffer, but the planet itself we'll be fine. So, go dance off a cliff, Bill Nye.
Into a razor sharp. I'm sorry. I take that back. We're of course we're kidding people. We don't want Bill Nye to actually hurt himself. That would be tragic. But you get the point. We have a poll up. It's called the poll is Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. Is he right? Yes, we're stuck here on Earth. No, we're going. Or you're all wrong. We've already been to Mars. So there we go. That kind of fits into the theme of the show itself, and I think sticks right square in the eye of Bill Nye as well. Mr. Shale, Mr. Original Deep State Crisis Actor, Mr. Sell his soul to the devil for whoever wants to pay him for whatever cause. He doesn't give a damn. But, you can't fault a man, right? He wants to feed his family. But there you go. If you guys have comments on Bill Nye, on global warming, on any of the stuff we're talking about, anything or anything off topic, please call us. What's the number, Frank? You read it one time.
902. I have no idea. Troubledminds.org. It's on the top. Go check it out.
Troubledminds.org, top of the page. 702-957-1037. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for showing up. And yeah, give us a call. Todd promised last show, at the end of last show, don't make me pull it up. Todd said he was going to call us. So come on, Todd. You're on deck, buddy.
I think you said when we talk about Anunnaki, he'll call in for an expert opinion. No. Again, because his call before, he really schooled us on the whole topic. So again, we'll do another show on Anunnaki and some of these ancient civilizations and ancient alien type ideas. It's funny. Every time I say ancient aliens now, I think of the TV show, and I think how dumb that TV show is. And somehow my mind makes the association that this idea of ancient aliens is a dumb concept just because of the TV show. It's a little interesting phenomenon, and I think they've done it on purpose. They've associated that word with a ridiculous television show just to make the concept seem so stupid. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think, I don't know. I think it goes back, the entire Bill Nye thing, back to that. The article's up. I can't stop staring at it. We got a call trying to come in. We'll take it in a sec. So he says, are you guys high? Remember? What was the key to getting everybody on Mars? Wasn't there like a particular fauna that we wanted to grow there? Flora? Was it flora? Flora we wanted to grow there. Was it a thing? Was it a thing? What was it? Red Martian?
Yeah, Martian Red Kush. I think that's what we got to do. And it's an interesting topic because, so the plan, I think, to terraform the planet, if we were trying to terraform the entire planet, would be to drop a couple of asteroids on the ice caps. That would evaporate them, and it would evaporate some of the frozen CO2 there, and that would create an atmosphere. Now, the problem with that is that over time, that atmosphere would degrade, it would dismiss. But, it wouldn't be for a million years. The rate of atmospheric loss is so low that it's almost negligible. But anyway, so you do that. You drop an asteroid on the ice caps. Now you got melting water. You got CO2 in the atmosphere. And then I think the idea is to seed the planet. So put some plants down, put some insects there, and, let the process begin. So it wouldn't be quick. It would be thousands, tens of thousands of years. But yeah, you could grow some Martian Red Kush, some kudzu vine. What's the stuff that grows real quick? All this kind of stuff. Drop some seeds from orbit. And then the plants come, the insects come, put some animals there. That's the process. That's the terraforming process. And from what I've seen, there's a lot of good signs to support the idea that it actually works.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. Terraforming Mars is one of those things that's interesting, topical, current. But right now we have a call. We're going to this call. Good evening. You are on Troubled Minds with Frank and Mike. What's your first name, sir? Where are you calling from?
This is Neil. I'm calling from work.
What's happening, Neil? Tell work we said hi. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah. That's how I was listening to you guys, and it's my first time. Oh, sorry. Actually, I'm pushing too many things on. Yeah, I'm trying to be quiet and not be heard. It's the last 10 minutes on my break.
Okay, you're the man. Thanks for calling on your break. What's on your mind, bro?
Yeah, you guys was talking about, I actually forgot. I'll have my phone down now, and I done heard everybody from here. So you guys was talking about ancient aliens and stuff and whatnot.
Correct.
It's a lot of stuff that I record in the sky. I just wanted to, I don't know how many friends you got listening right now, but it's a lot of stuff that I record in the sky on my channel. I just want to let you guys be aware that if you go to my YouTube channel, Skywatcher Society, you guys will love it, because I record some faces in the sky, seriously, a lot of crazy stuff. And if you go to my Instagram, which is Don_Cornelius1984, I got some crazy videos on there too, where it look like the sun has clouds going behind it, and it's actually casting shadows of chemtrails onto other clouds, like it's real close to the Earth. But I know I don't have too much time, and I don't want to take up you guys too much time, and I'm going to get off the phone, but then I am a big fan of y'all's now, because I will subscribe to y'all, and I will start listening to y'all, and I will try to call every time I get a chance to. Is that okay?
Appreciate it, Neil. You're the best, man. You're the first guy that called in from work, so triple props. We appreciate that. And yeah, check out his... That's a dedication right there. So if you guys want to check out this guy's channel one more time, shout it out, and then and we'll move on. Thanks for calling in. What's your channel one more time?
All right, it's called Skywatcher Society. It's the first one to pop up. We got some clouds and I think a construction cone in it. I only got about 7 videos up, but when you guys get on there, just watch the one that say Fingers in the Sky. I was actually up to about 120,000 views. Then all of a sudden, it knocked me back down to 0 for some reason, and my video stopped at like 60-something views, I think. And no matter how many times you watch it from whoever's channel, it will not get no more views for some reason. And it happened on my Instagram. So I don't know what's going on. I think I got blackballed or something by Instagram and by YouTube.
I'm with you, bro.
They actually stopped my views.
Get us statistics on that, and we'll classify that as a real conspiracy. But I believe you. That stuff happens. Hey, Neil, thanks for calling, man. Tell work we said, listen, you'll learn something. And Skywatcher Society, guys.
Get more people to subscribe to you guys.
You appreciate that, man. That's how word gets out. So thanks for calling, Neil. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, no problem. You too.
Thanks, man. Later. All right, there you go, guys. Skywatcher Society. If you want to check it out, that's Neil calling in. So, see, just like that. You guys can call. This is free for all. You can do that. If you want to talk about the latest video game or whatever, we're down for that. Whatever you want to talk about. The current poll is Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. Yes, we're stuck here on Earth. He's right. No, we're going, or you're all wrong. We've already been there. So please take the poll, and there we go. And where are we at? What was the topic? I'm lost. Was it Bill Nye?
I have no idea. No, yeah, maybe it was Bill Nye. Like, why would you listen to... Okay, let's say you have a medical problem. You know, your heart is... You have a sick heart, you know, or maybe some angina or some kind of problem with your heart. Are you going to go to, you know, a guy who stocks shelves at the grocery store and ask him about, you know, how to fix your heart? Maybe this guy who stocks shelves at the grocery store can do some open heart surgery on you. Of course not. You know, you go to the experts. Idiot. He dances on television, and he's an idiot. Go to Elon Musk. Go to Jeff Bezos from Blue Origin. Again, he doesn't comment too much on the whole space race, but they're picking it up. They're doing stuff, too. We don't hear a lot about it. I'm hesitant to say this. Go to NASA. Ask them for a comment. You know, of course, never a straight answer you'll get from them, but don't go to Bill Nye. Come on.
Seriously. Please, guys. Please. If you ever make up your mind on anything, please, for the love of all that's good, don't make Bill Nye be the deciding factor of anything. Ever. Even if you're like, what do I want to eat for dinner? And you turn on Bill Nye and he's eating like a pastrami sandwich. I'm like, wow, that sounds really good. Nope. Do not eat a pastrami sandwich right now. Don't let him be the deciding factor on anything, please. Does that sound advice? What do you think, Frank?
There was some big hullabaloo around him a while back. I don't know if you saw his new Netflix show. Did you?
I didn't. I do my best to avoid that guy. Nope, not happening. What about his show?
We won't talk about it. Yeah, he had some controversial segments in there. Let's just leave it that way. So, yeah, a lot of people, they don't think very highly of him. I think they're coming to accept the fact that he is shilling for the establishment. He's just spouting lines that someone else is feeding him. Again, he's an actor. He's not a scientist. I believe he has a bachelor's degree, and that's it. So he doesn't understand science. He's never done any real science. He's never achieved anything except dancing on television. So don't listen to him.
Well, neither have I, but I haven't even danced on television. What is that? What are you trying to say about me, bro? Come on now. Okay.
No. That's I think that's a bad way to look at it, because again, you get this guy who's very authoritarian in what he says. He's pushing a certain agenda, and he's not doing it by showing you figures. He's not doing it by showing you data or photographs or examples. He's not even trying to understand any of these things. He's making ridiculous comments like, "Are you high? Come on now." He's not actually trying to learn. Whereas we, in the audience here, we're looking at this information. We're parsing it. We're judging the facts. We're looking at all these parallels and all these contradictions, and we're actually trying to learn something about what's going on around us. Whereas Bill Nye, there's not a thought in that guy's head. He's just saying whatever someone tells him to, and that's all there is to it. So there is a difference there. Again, I don't want to denigrate anyone if you don't have any academic achievements or anything like that, but at least we're here. At least we're looking at these facts and these figures, and we're trying to make sense of the world around us. And that's, I think, the root of how we move forward. That's the best.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure. But Bill Nye still is a shill deluxe, shill number 1 deluxe, and the original crisis actor. The world is warming. Okay, so Bill Nye, we got a poll up. So the poll is, Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. Are you high, is what he actually said. But our poll is, yeah, he's right. We're stuck here on Earth. Nope, we're going, or you're all wrong. We've already been there. So what do you think? Before I close this poll, you want to guess, Frank, on what percentage is what?
I don't know. I'd say no. I'd say no one believes.
No one believes him. 25% say yes, he's correct. We're stuck here on Earth. We're not going. 50% say no, he's wrong. We are going to Mars. And the other 25% says you're all wrong. We've already been there. There we go. Boom. There it is. Oh, it just changed. 23%, 54, 23. We have one more vote for no, we're going. So there we go. Consensus says the scientific consensus is we're going to Mars. Wait. I can do this better. Oh, man. Where's my music? Okay, anyway, we'll save the music for another time. Neil says Bill Nye is a kid scientist. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. There you go. That's a great comment. That's the facts, Jack. Okay, so all right. About to close this poll and move on to another topic. If you guys want to steer us in a particular direction, like Todd says, I'll call in if we're talking about the Anunnaki. Well, here's your chance, man. Call in and we'll talk about the Anunnaki. We're waiting for that. This is why we do this, to give you the chance. If anybody else has anything else they want to talk about, we're here. This is what we're doing. This is why we do this. This is why Tuesday is a loose show. It's a free-for-all show. It's a... What is it? Help me, Frank. Help me as I close the poll and write a new one.
It's something. It sure is something.
It's something, that's for sure. Here we go. This sums it up perfectly. Benjamin shows up. What's up, brother? He says, hey, guys, what did I miss? And Adam says, nothing. Perfect. That sums it up. Hold on.
Nothing. You missed not a damn thing. We haven't been saying anything at all night.
Here we go. All right, well, okay, Todd. Now Todd wants to talk about his out-of-body experience. Here he comes. Pull him into the Discord there, Frank. Todd's coming. He's going to talk about his out-of-body experience. I gotta get a beer for this. Be right back. 30 seconds.
Yeah, we'll certainly enjoy talking about that. I've been reading a lot about that recently with these out of body experiences and these after death experiences. And you think, these are the kind of things you saw on television 10, 20 years ago, and you see some story of some crazy looking guy saying, "Oh, I saw a bright light." But actually, this stuff is happening all the time. There's hundreds and thousands of cases of these after death out of body experiences, and they occur all the time. So pull Todd in a minute when my co-host gets back. But yeah, this stuff happens all the time. And again, it's something that goes very unreported on. These out of body experiences where you're seeing things and you're out of your own body, they happen all the time. So it's not just some crazy person years ago. It happens constantly. And so I read a book recently, I forget the title of it, but it was basically this doctor who was putting people under anesthesia. And I think 70 to 80% of the people he put under anesthesia came up reporting these out-of-body experiences. So it is quite interesting. Are you back?
I'm back, yeah. Okay, so we got Todd in the color queue. I'm gonna finish up this poll and we'll pull Todd in. One sec. Okay, so the poll. Bill Nye says we're not going to Mars. He says, are you high? The poll is 20% agree with him. Yes, we're stuck here on Earth. 47% say no, we're going. And 33% say you're all wrong. We've already been there. So publishing this poll is closed. We're going to get some Todd in here. Todd's an old friend. He was like literally the second guy in chat of our very first episode. So Richie was the first. Todd was a close second. So an old friend.
Okay,
we've
move
him in. Here we go.
Todd, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
What's on your mind?
What's up, guys?
You already know, man. You've been here. You've been here. Tell us about your out of body thing.
All right, so it happened when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I was still in school in New Jersey, and I went to school with this kid, Brian. He was like a kind of a short, fat, chubby kid that everybody made fun of or whatever. I mean, I would make fun of him too, and I kind of felt bad about it after this. But basically, one night I was listening to music. I used to get in like a zone when I would listen to music because music's always been my thing. So one night I was listening to music, and I guess I zoned out. And when I came to, it was like I was in this kid's house, right? Like I couldn't see my body, but I was there. Like I could see, I could hear. Like everything, my consciousness was there, but my body wasn't. And they couldn't hear me. I mean, I tried talking, but they couldn't hear me. But I heard them. So he had 2 brothers and a sister, and his parents lived there. And basically, there was a fire going on when this happened in their house. And Brian and his brother, I think, and his mother died. And his sister and his father lived. But I heard them screaming, like when the fire was basically consuming them. I heard them screaming. I literally heard them, and I saw the kid Brian in front of me burning up. Like I actually saw this and heard this. And then the next day when I went to school, because I thought it was a dream, but the next day when I went to school, everybody was like with their heads down, and the teacher said that the kid and his family died in a fire last night. Like that actually happened, and there was newspaper clippings of it.
Holy smokes!
That actually happened.
Holy smokes! That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember it clear as day. It's crazy. It really happened, though.
That's pretty crazy. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, I've read a lot about these stories about these heightened emotional states, whether it's you or whether it's someone you know, and this kind of stuff happens. Again, there's a ton of these stories. It's not just one person or like a near-death experience or anything like that. This is happening all the time, and it just goes unreported on. It's all over the place. So that is a pretty interesting story. Again, especially because you gain some kind of information from it that you wouldn't have had normally. Again, I've seen stories like that.
And it was basically... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because they said astral projection, and that's basically what it was. But I wasn't meditating to do it. It just happened because I zoned out. Like things like that have happened to me when I was a kid. And actually, before my son was born, he's 19 now, but before he was born, before I met his mother, I had a dream, and in like psychedelic, like I had in the dream I was with this girl, but she wasn't. I couldn't see her face. It was like actually psychedelic colors, and it's like I met her and we had sex or whatever. But then a few months later, I met her and I had a kid. Like stuff like that has happened to me. It's crazy.
That's pretty strange. Can you remember anything about that state you were in? And have you ever tried to recapture that before, like get back into that zone? Or
Actually, I have. I've tried it a lot, but I can't do it again. After like that stuff, I got deep into like acid, like LSD, in like the late '90s, and that basically opened my consciousness to where I am now. But I didn't realize it back then. But LSD actually opened my mind a lot. Like, but I've still never been able to do out of body experiences like on being able to force myself to do it. I haven't been able to do that.
That's interesting that, yeah, you always see these children and younger kids having these sightings, and these they're seeing ghosts and they're seeing things in their house, and they're also having these out-of-body experiences. I wonder if it's something to do with their brain, how their brain is developing at that time, and now that you've become older, you're just incapable of doing it, or if it's a mindset. I don't know, but that's an amazing topic, and we'll have to do a show on that.
I think it's because I've been trying. That time it happened on its own. I didn't try for it to happen, you know? And I think that's what my problem is. I can't just completely let go like I used to. I try too much now.
It's pretty crazy. We got some, just like you trolled me, we got some trolls. We got Adam saying Todd was faded.
Yeah, I was faded at 12 years old. I actually used to drink and smoke weed when I was that young. But
there you go.
But not that time.
There you go.
I also have two quick stories about UFO sightings, which I said I was going to talk about.
Sure.
Is that cool?
Of course, man.
All right. Well, the first one I was talking about in chat the other day was when I was in Montana. I was at this party, right, on this Indian reservation in Montana. And me and this dude were outside just talking or whatever, smoking a cigarette. And in the sky, I saw it like how I always talk about the blue plasma lights. So I saw these two balls. They looked like blue plasma. And they would come together, like fuse together, and then come apart again. And it kept doing that as it was getting closer. And the closer it got, then I started seeing it was like black, like not one of the TB7 things. It was a triangle shape, and it was black, but it wasn't like the ones that the government has. Excuse me. It had those blue lights on it. And then when it actually got close, I could see like the bottom of it, and it was like a force field, like waves. Like you could see the waves like trickling like a pond under the bottom of the ship, and the ship was like a shiny black. It was crazy. But then I kind of blacked out, and then when I came to, I was still standing there, and he was standing there. I was like, "Did you see that?" And he's like, "I saw a shooting star." I was like, "What?" I was like, "There was no shooting star. That was a fucking UFO." He's like, all I saw was a shooting star. I'm like, wow.
That's pretty crazy. Okay, hold on. So you said that you blacked out. Was there any of that typical lost time thing going on? I ask this to everybody because I'm fascinated by this.
Because I never looked at my watch. I just know that I blacked out, and then I came back again, and I was still standing there, and he was standing there, but he didn't remember seeing the UFO. Only I did.
Curious.
That's interesting. We always have this this phenomenon where you lose awareness, or you lose consciousness around these things, or you'll remember later that aliens are in your bedroom, but when you wake up the next morning, you don't remember it. I wonder what kind of technology they have that they can do these things, that they can actually kind of put you into a comatose state, because it seems purposeful. They're doing it on purpose. I wonder how they do that. I don't know. Just a thought I had that seems to be a commonality between all these experiences, is losing yourself somehow. And it must be something they're doing on.
And there's one more time I have, but I don't know if it was a dream or if it was real. And I was a little younger. I think I was about 7 or 8. and I was in this park that me and my friends used to play at. And this kid, like my house was on one side of a fence, and on the other side was my friend Frank, and on the right side of his house was the park. So basically, it was another blue UFO, but this one actually landed, and the door opened, and there was an open door, and it was me, my friend Frank, and my friend Eddie. And we all went into the ship, and then I don't know what happened, because then I guess I woke up in my bed or something. But that actually happened. I don't know if that's a dream or if that really happened, but I see it clearly, like it actually happened. But if that one was a dream or not.
That's pretty curious. So, okay, so we have kind of this subconscious thing going on. So I think it's interesting that we have this Tom DeLonge thing where we talked about, you know, the forward-looking infrared, FLIR, and sometimes you can see them with this, sometimes you can't, and then we have this consciousness thing happening where maybe you're seeing it because you achieved some state where you're able to see this thing, and maybe your friend didn't in that other instance there. I don't know. Pretty curious that you can see it. He didn't. He's standing right next to you, but for some reason you kind of came to out of some sort of trance, like a trance state. Pretty crazy.
I agree with you totally, because even when we went inside, I was telling everybody I just saw a UFO, and he just said he saw a friggin' shooting star.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I kind of wonder though if it was, you know, he was saying he saw a shooting star because he didn't want to seem like a crazy person, right? Like, or he just didn't notice it, right? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever had a similar experience, but there's oftentimes, you know, you'll drop a pin on the floor, and you know the person you're with, they're looking for it, they can't find it, and you're like, yeah, it's right there, right? So different people have different perception, different ability to see things. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see it, or he was pretending he didn't see it. I think that's a likely possibility.
There you go. Right. We got some comments here. If you want to take some of these, there, Todd. We got Benjamin says suppressed memory. Kelly says mind whip, and what else? I'm not sure what these things mean, but I don't know. What do you think? I know what a suppressed memory is. What's a mind whip? Any idea?
Yeah, I don't know what a mind whip is either.
Okay. Well, Kelly can tell us all about it, but there you go. Oh, and Fred actually chimes in and says he did buy an FLIR and says that he still hasn't been able to see anything with the infrared, so he's still looking out in the night sky and nothing going on. Oh, mind
wipe, yeah.
Mind wipe, yeah. Okay, my bad. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Anybody have a question for Todd? You can jump on Discord, or.
Well, I don't understand if my mind was wiped. Why do I remember seeing it? I just don't remember what happened after it. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I think people's brains are different. Like, we all think we're all the same and we're all equal and we're all exactly the same person, but people's brains are different. So you're talking about having these out-of-body experiences and this kind of stuff. So maybe you're just wired differently such that this stuff doesn't affect you as much as the guy next to you. Even going back to that John Edwards show, where this is the guy who's kind of crazy, right? But he's the guy who said he was in a car accident and then he was fighting aliens with a samurai sword, right? But his claim anyway, as crazy as it sounds, is that because his brain was damaged, what they were trying to do to him, it didn't work. It didn't work the same way as the other people around him. So I'm not saying your brain is damaged, but maybe you're just wired differently such that it doesn't affect you as much as the person next to you.
I could totally see that.
And Kelly kicks in with you have a strong mind. That's why people like Corey Good can remember what happened to him, and apparently others can. There you go.
I definitely, I'm kind of egotistical with that too. I believe I have a strong mind too.
There you go.
Thanks, Kelly. I agree.
We knew you were here for a reason. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add here? Or if anybody has comments for Todd, if he wants to hang around for a minute, you can jump on Discord and ask him some questions or whatever. That's what we're doing, guys. This is why we do the show. It's Tuesday night, free for all. He had some out-of-body...
I have another story about LSD, but I don't know if you guys want to hear that one.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely.
Well, this one time, I took like 6 hits of acid, and it was like really strong. And I was listening. Do any of you guys remember that chick Tracy Lords who used to be in like the B movies, and then she came out with some techno music.
Yes, of course. Of course.
You remember her?
Yeah.
Well, I was tripping balls listening to that, right? So I got in my car at the time with my dog. Like, this is a crazy story. I got in the car with my dog, and I was talking to my dog because I was tripping balls, right? So I was driving down the street. I ended up getting pulled over, like not even 100 feet from my house.
You must have been driving well.
and I get handcuffed, right? And then I start tripping really hard. Like, I start hallucinating, and the cops, like, actually morphed into aliens. Like, and then I got put in the ambulance. Well, actually, I ended up in a police station, and I was coming in and out of, like, not consciousness, but, like, from, you know, when you, what the hell is the word I'm looking for? I just used it.
Yeah, like awareness of what's going on around.
Right, and not seeing aliens. I actually saw the cops, but I was going in and out of that. And then somehow I ended up in the hospital, but I was unconscious. And while I was unconscious, I was still tripping. And you know how people talk about seeing the Akashic records and seeing like that tunnel? It was like I'm pretty sure I saw the Akashic records, and I heard voices in my head that were telling me about my past, but I don't remember what they were saying. But I remember the visuals of seeing the tunnel. It was like a digital tunnel in my mind, my mind's eye. Yeah, I was hallucinating, but I was not conscious when I was seeing this though. Like, I was laying in a hospital bed with my eyes closed when this was happening, and I didn't even realize I was unconscious. And I'm pretty sure I saw the Akashic records, and I saw my past, and like this whole thing. It's crazy, but yeah, that was my bad trip on LSD. I never tripped again after that.
I think this is fitting. Adam says that Lords of Acid, that was the name of her group, the Tracy Lords there.
Yeah. No, that wasn't the name of her group.
No? Okay.
No, it was just her by herself. She was called Tracy Lords.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I do know who the Lords of Acid are, though.
Okay. It seemed extremely fitting to the story.
Sorry to interrupt. Just to comment on that story. I don't know if a lot of people realize, but the guy who invented PCR, so PCR is a way to amplify DNA, but this guy who invented the technique and all the stuff to do it with, he learned about it. He thought about it. He gained the knowledge when he was tripping balls on acid, right? And as a result of that, we've sequenced the genome. We've developed all these technologies. So somehow in that acid trip, either he put the pieces together or the knowledge was given to him, but he's very open about this. He invented that revolutionary technique by tripping on acid. So again, he gained this information somehow by using the substance, by changing the way his mind thinks. So whether he saw a part of the Akashic record where that was written, or whether he put pieces together in this altered state of consciousness, I don't know. But it is interesting, this idea of gaining something from doing that where you wouldn't have it before.
It's not just that too. It's if you go back to art, you look at Jimi Hendrix and a lot of these guys, right? The Beatles and a lot of these artistic visions kind of come in trances like that as well, where it's tripping on acid or what have you, So it does elevate the human mind one way or the other. And it opens some sort of door that wasn't available, and I think that's definitely worth some further conversation there. Pretty cool stuff.
I completely agree. That's why I said acid opened my mind.
There you go. And Todd's reading the chat, so if you guys have questions for Todd, drop in the chat. I didn't realize you were doing both. There you go.
Yeah, I'm reading on my cell phone and talking on my computer.
Okay, sweet. And we do have another call coming in. So, anything else there, Todd?
No, I'm good. I finally told my story.
Okay, there we go. Hey, do you mind if we cut that into a clip when we do like a astral show, astral walking show, or astral projection? Because we could cut that up. Is that cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thanks for the stories, man. You're the best. And
no problem.
Now I can stop teasing you for being scared to call. Because there you are.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the next Anunnaki one.
Okay, we'll get there. Promise, man.
All right.
Thanks, Todd.
No problem.
Okay, I'm going to move you out now. Thanks for the call.
All right. We got another call here. We're going to put him on. So if you guys have some information about Todd's out-of-body experiences or UFO stuff, let us know. Or a call. We got a call. You know what to do. 702-957-1037 or click the Discord link. See that? Todd came in. He told us some cool stuff, and we were nice to him. And he was nice back. Look at that. Imagine that. People can be nice to each other. Isn't it amazing? Okay, here we go. We're going to take this call and be nice to this guy, too, whoever this is. And action. Good evening. You are on Troubled Minds with Frank and Mike. What's your first name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Benjamin. I'm calling from Virginia. What's going on, guys?
Benjamin from Virginia. You know, man. You already know. We're talking about some cool stuff. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I came across a few articles I think you guys might be interested in. I don't know if y'all actually ran across them, but before I get started on it, there's a woman on Facebook who her name is Gina Hill, and she has been taking a lot of videos, I guess, from the whatever telescope it is that they point at the sun for, whatever reason or whatever. But she has captured a ton of pictures and a ton of videos of like massive, a lot of UFOs hanging around the sun, videos, I mean, just pictures, videos, everything. I don't know if you guys actually heard of that or if you guys came across that on y'all's end or what. Another thing too is I saw a thing on the NASA website talking about the Black Knight satellite. And I don't know if you guys believe in that, but I for one am a strong believer in the Black Knight satellite. Now supposedly, as what NASA is what the article says, is that somebody from the ISS space station captured a picture here, I want to say it was about 2, maybe 3 days ago, of the Black Knight satellite. I don't know if you guys came across that either, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
I didn't see that. You see that one, Frank?
No, I didn't see the recent photo. I was looking up Gina Hill, so yeah, we do have a couple of videos from her. Yeah, some interesting imagery of the sun. In terms of the Black Knight satellite, I haven't done too much research into it. I know that the Ancient Astronaut Archive, again, I think I've talked about this before, put out a video where they go back and they look at all the history of it and they look at all the properties attributed to it. And it doesn't seem to be that big a deal, but who knows? That was just one guy's opinion. So we'll have to look in on that in the future. Didn't see the recent photo, though. So if you have a link, yeah, please share it.
I'll have to go back through my page, and then what I'll do is I'll forward the link to you guys' messenger on Facebook.
Sure, that'll work. That'll work.
One other thing, too, I also here recently was watching something on C-SPAN, and it looked like a couple of the people's faces were changing. Has anybody ever seen anything odd like that here recently? Like shape-shifting type stuff?
Personally, no. I haven't been looking too close. When I get close to people, I kind of run away, like they're vampires already. So I just, people and me just don't mix. I run as fast as possible, typically.
Well, I mean, I know the media is like full of a big agenda, whatever, whatnot, because they got their own agenda that they're trying to pull out. We've been through that already, but yeah, I was kind of watching it on an app on my TV because we don't have cable. We just have regular internet, and there ain't no point in paying for cable when you can use the internet. But anyway, I was looking at some articles on C-SPAN, and there was a live video feed, and it looked like one of the Congress people, whatever, was up there talking, and he was talking about this, talking about our infrastructure, and I could swear that his face just shape-shifted, like it almost looked like he was, I want to say almost like a reptilian type shape-shift, but I don't know. It could have been my mind was playing tricks on me, but I could have swore it looked like his face had shape-shifted.
Yeah, you know what? We actually have an actual account from Kelly. He's here in chat now. He actually called us a while back and talked about his personal experience, and he believes he saw some actual reptilian shapeshifters. And so, yeah, I mean, me personally, no, I haven't seen anything that makes me convinced on video, any kind of video proof. But if you have a really great video, I'd love to see that too. So if you want to shoot that over when you get a chance, I'd love to see that stuff.
All right, I got one more thing. I want to make a comment about what Todd said. I made a comment in a comment section involving Hitler. If I'm wrong, wasn't Hitler experimenting on astro projection? Who was experimenting with that besides us, besides our government? Wasn't it Hitler?
I think for sure. You know what? He was one of the worst for that type of thing. They were experimenting in everything because they didn't give a damn about human beings at all. Not like well, I was gonna say something really mean, but we've had our own bad situations with experimenting on people, but he had he gave no shits about it, and so he didn't care how many people died, and his entire program was based on that. So he was definitely the worst. So it wouldn't surprise me to hear he was doing that. Are you familiar with that at all, Frank?
Yeah, so they had, the Nazi had like a secret occult institute, apparently, as the story goes, where they would study these things. And it does make a lot of sense because look at what happened even with our space program. We grabbed up all these scientists, we brought them over, Werner von Braun and so on, to work on this technology. So I wouldn't be surprised if, these CIA astral experiments were actually inspired by Nazi experiments that happened in World War II. Because they were doing all sorts of strange stuff, trying to figure out ways to win the war. But yeah, there have been accounts of that for sure, that they were experimenting with that stuff too, and in less than ethical manners.
That's a nice way to put it. I got
one more thing for you guys too. I also came across an article from a website. I don't know. I want to say half of what they post on the site is fact, but then again, I want to say half of it is like made up. It's called thegraveyardshift.com, and they talk about different experiments that governments and government agencies, around the world were doing. Supposedly, as one of the articles read, was that the Russians, back during right when the Cold War started, the Russians did what was called some sleep experiment, and it was like 3 or 4 people that was involved in it, and they didn't feed them. They made them stay awake, and they shot them full of some weird psychotropic drugs or whatever. And supposedly, when they went to go end the experiment, the people's faces were deformed, and they were eating at each other's skin. They were eating at each other's flesh. I don't know. Have you guys even came across that article at all? I mean,
yeah, so
like I said, I don't... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've run across this a couple of times. I think that was a hoax. That was like a creepypasta type story, this Russian sleep experiment. A lot of people are saying it is, but then again, who knows? Who knows? Like Snopes says it's false, so I immediately think it's true. But yeah, I've run across that story. It's definitely a creepy story. It's definitely worth looking into if you want to creep yourself out late at night, is this Russian sleep experiment. Look that up on Google. You'll find it pretty quick. But again, we've tested that stuff here. We've tried to keep soldiers awake for a long period of time. There was an episode of The X-Files that was actually inspired by real events where they were trying to keep some guy awake for a long time. This stuff happens. But again, I think this Russian one was more of an exaggeration with them eating each other and becoming goblin-like creatures.
Well, I also want to just give you a shout out, Frank. I joined your queue also.
Uh-oh.
So just to give you guys, just to let you guys know, I joined the queue. So.
Uh-oh. Okay. So if nobody knows what he's talking about. So we have if you go to troubledminds.org on the top right, you can put in your email address there to join our mailing list. Let me ask you, Benjamin, did you get an email with a link to Frank's Illuminati page?
Yes, I did, actually. I've been going on there and listening in to some of you guys' old shows, man. I wish I would have caught you guys when you guys first came on air, dude. I mean, y'all have a lot of good topics that you guys talk about, and I like the fact that, you don't you're not so judgmental. You know, you allow people to share their opinions, and you allow people to share their stories, because a lot of the guys out here that are doing what you guys are doing, they don't let people call in. They don't like judgmental people calling in, or, you know, I mean, you guys seem like you're down to earth, and I think that's the reason why I like y'all's show so much. But I've been trying to promote y'all guys' show also with some of my friends on Facebook, because I connect with a lot of abductees and stuff like that. And I have a lot of my friends on Facebook who are also abductees, such as myself, and who's experienced the same experiences that I have experienced. Now, whether or not, you know, I know a couple of them. They asked me not to say their names, and I can't say their names because they asked me not to, but I know that there's a couple of them that want to talk about their experiences with you guys. And I know one of them's on Facebook now, who's actually in the comment area, but they're just pretty much, you know, listening. And basically they sent me a message before I called in and said that when they're ready, they're going to call you guys and talk to you guys about it. From my understanding, this person was basically abducted by our own government. Now, I don't know the whole story behind it, and, you know, this person's it's still going on till this day. But they're scared to actually call in because they don't want to be targeted, which I don't really blame them on that, because ever since I've called in, guys, I mean, and I told you guys about my major experience, I've had a lot of experiences with being, you know, abducted, visitations, that types of stuff. But when I called in the very first time, I have been tagged. I need to let you guys know that, because some of the stuff that I research, I like to, when they declassify old classified documents, I like to read that stuff, and I like to share it with other people, so that way other people can know, you know, what our government is up to and a lot of the stuff that our government is doing. So I like to read a lot of the declassified documents and stuff like that, but I wasn't really tagged until I actually called into the show and told you guys my major abduction deal. That's a lot of the reasons why I just been kind of just chiming in and listening in, because I don't want, which I'm sure you guys are probably tagged yourselves, but anyway, I just wanted to make you guys aware that I do connect with a lot of people, and they're down to earth people, and, you know, they're average, you know, Joes like you, me, Frank, you know, people in the chat, but I connect with people like that, and a lot of them don't really share their stories, but then there's quite a few of them on there that can't figure out why they're being visited or why they're being abducted or whatnot. And I try and help them, you know, I try and share my experience with them and let them know how it affects me in my life, and, you know, affects me as far as mentally and physically. Because, you know, whenever that happens to me, dude, I'm so drained. And see, a lot of people don't realize, when you can generally tell if you've been visited or abducted, because your body's drained, you're wore out, your body's sore, you know, you wind up with weird migraines all the time, and you want to sleep all the time, you know, and it affects me, you know. And I'm generally a quiet person, but once I start to open up to people, you know, I have to be comfortable with people in order for me to open up to them. And I think that's what the people that I'm connected with on Facebook, I think that's what they want. They want somebody or some people that they can feel comfortable with opening up to. But, you know, I try and help people out, you know, who's on my page, and a lot of them, they'll just friend me, you know. I mean, it's like I have, when I actually got logged into Facebook earlier, I had 23 friend requests along with 23 messages from people who have been visited and abducted. And I can't reach out to everybody, but I try. And ever since I came on the show and you guys let me share my experience with y'all, you know, that just kind of told me, you know, well, maybe I could get them on the show. Maybe that'll help them ease their minds a little bit if they can just bring it out, you know. And I'm trying to get them to come on you guys' show, but it's going to take me a little bit to get them to do that, because like I said, they have to feel comfortable, so
Totally,
I just
man.
wanted
Hey,
to make you guys aware of that also.
appreciate that. First off, thank you for spreading the word. We appreciate that a lot. This is how the show blows up. This is how we get more interesting people, more interesting takes on the topics we're talking about. The more minds you can bring together, the more you get better ideas, okay? So I truly believe that. So thank you for spreading the word. Number two, you can tell them if they don't want to be tagged, so to speak, they can watch us anonymously on YouTube under a, quote, anonymous tag, and then call us with a fake name if they want. So if that makes them feel better about the process, no problem. Of course, that's all fine, and we welcome that. But like most people, when they have actual experiences like that, they're traumatic. And so they'll call in when they're ready, So don't. We appreciate that, but don't push them too hard. You know how it is. Like you said, it's draining, and all those things.
Yeah, I mean, I know how it is, and I'm not pushing them. I just tell them, when you're ready, just I'm here for you. But the one person the one person I told you guys about who claims that they have been abducted not by aliens but by the government, and supposedly they were doing some sort of mind trickery or whatever, making it out to be that they're aliens. Come to find out, it's the U.S. government that's doing it. Supposedly this has been an ongoing thing, and some of the stories that this person, I mean, if you guys would listen to this person, okay, you guys would think that this person's crazy, but I for one believe this person, because a lot of what this person's saying, I mean, you could just tell in their voice that they're being serious and they're being honest and they're being truthful about it. That I would love to try and get this person to come on you guys' show and try and talk to you guys about some of their experiences and some of the stuff that they went through as far as their abductions. I don't think this is what they're having is visitations and abductions by aliens. I think what they're having is, I think it's the government that's doing it. I don't think it's aliens that's doing this. But I do know, and the reason that I say I believe this person is because I do know that our own government actually has been known to do that. So I'm just trying to get this person to feel comfortable enough to, come on the show and maybe talk with you and Frank about it, and let you guys know and let other people know, hey, it's just not aliens that's abducting us. It's our own government that's doing it too and doing experiments on us too. So, I don't want anybody thinking that it's just aliens that's doing it or otherworldly beings. It's also our own government. So
yeah, absolutely. Like, even look at that news article we covered at the top of the show. You got witch hunts and cannibalism going on in New Guinea, right? So if they can do that there, the government can abduct you here. Come on now, it's perspective. If they're eating people in Papua New Guinea, the government can snatch you up and do some experiments on you here. We're no different. The humans there are the same humans we have here. So this stuff is happening. It's happening all the time. And the only way to get them to stop is to talk about it, to shine a light on the evil, get rid of it. If you stay silent, you stay quiet, it's just going to keep happening. You got to get it out there. You got to talk about it. You got to put these people to task. That's the only way to solve the problem.
There you go. Benjamin, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot. And again,
no problem, guys.
Have a fantastic night. There you go, guys, just like that. Benjamin from Virginia with some great topics, some great insight, and he's spreading the word. How about you guys? You spreading the word? You telling your friends? You telling your family? You telling that cousin nobody likes? We might like him. You never know. But if you guys want to call us, just like Benjamin did, just like Todd did, just like, sorry, I forgot your name, he called earlier. We've had some good calls, and we've got a little bit of time left. If you want to, the number to call, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find them both on troubledminds.org. That is our website, our official website. Don't let Frank tell you otherwise. That's our actual official website. He's got a competing website, but I don't think... Anyway, that's an inside joke. Okay, so...
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Just before we move on. Yeah. What can we do to protect ourselves from these goddamn aliens and the government coming after us? Like, there's got to be something we can do. And, I was thinking, with Todd's story and the way different brains work, and even with this story right now, I wonder what we could do. Like, let's say you see an alien ship in the sky, and you're like, okay, What's the next step? The next step is you're going to black out. You're going to lose some consciousness. I kind of wonder, maybe if you carry like an epinephrine injector on you, you know, and you see the ship coming, you're like, boom, you inject yourself with some of this stuff, get yourself pumped up. Is that going to prevent it? Like, there's got to be something we can do, you know?
I wonder. That's actually pretty good. So okay, so if it is a state of mind, if there's some sort of conscious trance that people go into, subconscious trance, let's say, and they go into this and they start maybe losing control of their limbs and you know, kind of go into that foggy state. I wonder. Yeah, that's a good point there, Frank. I wonder if there's some way you can actually snap yourself out of it and maybe make yourself conscious enough to fight back, or at least get away, or maybe pull out your phone and take some pictures, or, you know what I'm saying? It seems to be that when it happens, we don't have any kind of defense. It's you know, they have their way with us, whether it be the government and these type of abductions like Benjamin was talking about, or if it's actual aliens themselves. It's curious, hey? I mean, all the guns in the world won't save you if you go comatose when it starts to happen, right?
Yeah, like maybe some Adderall or something like that. Keep yourself awake. Like down a shot of espresso ahead of time. I don't know. Maybe, you know, like, I guess we're not going to advocate for cocaine, but, you know, that could do it too. I don't know. All sorts of different things you could do. Or even train yourself to avoid these kind of mental states. But yeah, that is a big commonality. You hear that between every single case you've ever heard about abductions, is this fugue state you enter. You just lose yourself for a time. So I kind of wonder, you wake up in the middle of the night, you see a gray alien, you know, instead of reaching for your gun, reach for the adrenaline shot and get yourself going. Jump up, leap out of your chair, and beat that damn alien to death. If it's an alien. If it's a person, obviously don't do it.
You know what? I think to end, we got a few minutes left. I think to end this, speaking of beating the alien to death, and you know, the Frank's aggressive nature here, I think we need to play that NASA video. What do you think? Let's play that NASA video and get us pumped up. If you have trouble sleeping, sorry guys, this is gonna keep you awake all night. But I think let's find this video. let's play this video. If you missed it on the last show, this is amazing, and we're going to do it again. We got some great conversation in the chat here talking about open up your chakras. Todd saying my UFO encounters were always calming. I was never scared. And Kelly saying, here's one thing, and I'm not just saying this to promote cannabis. Hey, only if it's legal in your state. He said, but it is said that people that smoke cannabis have a different and higher vibration. Proven fact. There we go. That's actually a pretty good show. Maybe we should do a show on narcotics and vibrations and higher actual levels of consciousness. That would be pretty cool. What do you think, Frank?
Those aliens, if those aliens ever come after my gold, I'm going to be vibrating so fast they won't know what hit them.
Frank is in rare form, guys. Frank is in rare form. Okay, so if you guys, this is a secret show. This is one of our secret shows. If you actually are here live, congratulations. You were a part of it. But what happens after this is this gets put in the archive, okay? And this show goes away. And the only way for you to access this show and the archives in the past is to join Frank's Illuminati. So you go to troubledminds.org, you join the mailing list. Benjamin actually said it works. He got a link, and he got to see all of our old secret shows. So he got all the old archives and some of the random stuff we talk about, kind of that shoot from the hip, free-for-all type topics, which sometimes are a better conversation, you know, because, you know, for a lot of reasons. We're not trying to get through a narrative. We're not trying to cut you guys off on a short call. Like, just call in and talk, you know, and that's why we do it. So it's a little more relaxed. It's for us and for you, and that's why we're here. That's why we do this. So let's. You want to play that NASA video? You got that, Frank? Can you find that real quick, please? And I'll.
Yeah, let me dig it up. And I actually we'll run the show a little long because I got a contrasting news story that we'll talk about briefly afterward.
Okay, fantastic.
Let me dig that up. I'm just looking for it now and talk for a second.
Okay, I'm going to talk for a second.
I was getting too hyped up. I was thinking about what I would do if these goddamn aliens.
Okay. Hold on. We got a situation here. Benjamin says should do a show about the Men in Black. That's a good point. We should. Adam says that. Okay, right there with the last call. You guys just lost me from the show. It means you guys are really in this to pretty much stand up for people and civilians in general, but that pot stuff you just talk about only if it's legal in your state. I'm done with the show. He's trolling us back. He's trolling us back. We're just making sure that when advertisers come along, we're square. You can relax, Adam. We believe in the libertarian lifestyle, and you can do as you please with your own body. So please indulge if it is your thing. But of course, make sure it's legal. Make sure it's legal. Tim says that you guys are awesome. No, Tim, you're awesome. Thanks. Millie says that I think the Mandela effect has something to do with us switching to a different frequency. Dolores Cannon talked about how some people will shift up to a different vibrational frequency. I think that's all connected somehow. And it seems to be, huh? It certainly seems that this different vibrational frequency stuff and in and out of consciousness and higher consciousness levels are certainly connected with, like we saw in the Philadelphia experiment. We talked about that in the show a little bit. And who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think this is one of those interesting topics where we will continue to poke and prod and pursue as we go through this, because it seems to be recurring. So good point, Millie, and you're absolutely correct in my opinion. Benjamin says my concern is with the Men in Black. Have you seen any Men in Black yet, Frank? Because everybody swears on this show that we're definitely on the list, Frank and I. I'm not so sure yet. I don't think we've gained enough attention. I don't know.
I think if they put me on a list, well, they put the wrong person on the list. And, I'm not gonna get us banned off Facebook, but just keep that in mind if you're listening. You put the wrong person on the list.
There you go. Don't put Frank on the list. You'll trigger him. Things will go bad. Things will be raw really fast. Really fast. Todd says, I think I've always vibrated on a higher frequency. That's why I have never felt like I belonged and never liked religion. Cool. And Millie says, I was raised being taught there were 52 states. Come to find out there was only 50. There you go. Mandela effect. Coming at you. Hard and strong. Hard and fast. All right. Oh, there we go. We got this video. Okay. Kelly says he's definitely on a list. Was it because of us or something you did before? Okay, I won't flatter myself. It's something before. Okay, we're going to put up this NASA video. If you guys didn't see this NASA video from the show, the previous show, this is amazing. We're going to play this. And if you aren't pumped up and ready to join Frank's Illuminati and go kill aliens with us, boy, I don't know. I don't know what to think about you. But here we go. We're going to pull this sucker up and play this. Talk for 30 seconds, Frank, as I get this going.
Yeah, so this, again, this is an interesting promo video NASA's released. And if you watch this and you listen to it, you will get pumped up. You will get excited. But keep in mind what they say at the very end of the video. So get excited as you're watching, but just keep in mind what they say at the very end. And then we'll open up another news story here and talk about that. Then we'll end the show. So I think there's a lesson to be learned here. Pay close attention as you're watching this.
Okay, thank you. 30 seconds is perfect. All right, queued up. Here we go, switching over. Troubled Minds audience, I demand your full attention. This is Michael Strange, and we have a public service announcement from NASA. And action.
Ignition sequence start. All engines are running.
We have taken tremendous steps.
We choose to go to the moon before this decade is out.
We have achieved the earth-shaking, the breathtaking, the groundbreaking,
One small step for man,
and left a mark in the heavens. Our successes build one upon another and amplify what is possible.
The dawn of Orion.
It's time we take the next great leap. We're building the next chapter of American exploration, returning to the moon to stay, so we can go beyond to Mars, to expand what's possible and further our understanding. The architecture for these missions is already taking shape. We will go with new systems, bold designs, and a sustainable mission. You can hear it, taste it, touch it. We are going. We are training, testing, pressing our pioneering spirit into every component, defining our resolve with every line of code, and securing our success with every welcomed partnership. This is not hypothetical. This is not about flags and footprints. This is about sustainable science and feeding forward the advance of the human spirit. Because we are the pioneers, the star sailers, the thinkers, the visionaries, the doers. And because we stand on the shoulders of giants to go farther than humanity has ever been, we will add our names to the rolls of the greatest adventurers in history. Every day, every mission, we advance this calling. We are NASA. And after 60 years, we're just getting started.
Yes! Okay, I want everybody to go to TribleMinds.org and join Frank's Illuminati, because I'm telling you, we're going to join up and we're going after those damn aliens. We're going to take them all down. We're going to group up. We're going to get some rusty screwdrivers. We're going to get a tinfoil hats and we're going to go get them! Charge. What's up, Frank? You feel me? I know you feel me.
No, I don't feel you, because, again, if you were paying close attention, you'll note that they even admitted what they've been doing. For 60 years, they've been doing nothing. They've been doing absolutely nothing. So it's great to say, oh, we're going to go to the stars, blah, 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 but they've been doing nothing. So, again, I think NASA was amazing in the 60s, in the 50s. What have they done since? Absolutely nothing. So great video, great way to raise funding. If you ever have to raise funding for a charity or whatnot, make a video like that. It's a good piece of propaganda. But NASA, your time has come and gone. So you'll be fondly remembered, but you're just tarnishing the name and you're delaying progress. I think you're doing it on purpose too, quite frankly. I think you're stifling progress on purpose. So we can't get up there. We can't see these things. Again, think we got China going to the moon in December, next month. China's putting a rover on the moon. Where's NASA's rover? It's in northern Canada. It's not even on Mars. We got Elon Musk going to Mars in 2020. We got all these other governments in space. We got the Russians making the robot. Again, this is my favorite story of the year. This Russian robot, we played the video of it. It picks up a gun. It starts shooting targets. It leaps in a car. It's driving down the road, and then it pulls a drill out, starts drilling holes in the wall. Russia's going to put a robot base on the moon. What's NASA doing?
You know what NASA's doing. They're burning our tax money. That's what NASA's doing. Here we go. I got your article up, Frank. Go ahead.
Yeah, so again, you'd think after that video that NASA's going to build rockets. We're going to get up there. We're going to do all these amazing things. Here's the article to finish the show. NASA to pay price for moon rides. So here we go. They're admitting, again, this is from November 19th. They're admitting they can't even do it themselves. They have to rely on SpaceX. They have to rely on Blue Origin. They can't do it. They're incapable at this point. They have to pay these private companies to launch up their equipment. So I ask you again, what's the point? Shutter NASA, shut the whole organization down, and give all that funding to SpaceX or Blue Origin or even Virgin Galactic. NASA, your time is over. Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. There it is, guys. There it is. Another Tuesday in the books. We have some, before we end this though, we have some actual business to attend to. We've got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Actual Thanksgiving. Should I put up a poll real quick? Are we doing this or we're not? Are we gonna take time off to be thankful and eat our turkey, or are we gonna do Trouble Minds Radio? What do you think, Frank? I have no idea.
I'm gonna take time off to make a list of my own. If you're listening to me, you put me on your list, I'm going to put you on my list.
Okay.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I'm getting sick of the way the world's working. You put me on my list, I'm going to put you on my list. And you better watch out.
You better watch out.
Well.
Yeah, all right.
I think that's what we have to do. Think about this. This country was formed by people who didn't want to be put on the list. It's really the essential end of it. They said, we're moving over here. Say goodbye. And now what have we become? We're putting other people on the list. Well, I don't think we can take it anymore.
Well, if it's your list, just leave me off it, please. please. I don't want to be on your list unless I'm
No,
like your
this-
number one. Am I on your
again.
side? Am I on your side at least, Frank?
Yeah, let me walk back those comments. I'm not making any threats. I'm saying a list for the spread and helpful knowledge, and we're going to help people out, and we're going to teach people about what's really going on, advocate for transparency and all this kind of stuff. That's what I mean. Let me clarify that.
Okay, advocate for transparency. There we go. We're going to clarify. Okay, Thanksgiving show. We got a hell yes and a not eat turkey. We got a 1 or 2 yes or no. What do you guys think? Okay, there we go. We got the poll going. Do the poll, guys. Do the poll, guys. Shit. Do the poll, guys. You guys realize if my wife is listening, my ass is grass the way this poll's going. Hey. Everybody slow down. Everybody slow down. Think about the list I'm going to be on. The
truth stops for no man. Keep that in mind. The truth marches forward. We got to do what we got to do. We got to spread knowledge. We got to learn about these things. We got to talk about them. So I'm sorry, but I don't know. Looks like what
Oh dear Lord. Okay. Okay. We're gonna wait. Okay, so as you all know, this
censorship
is
from
Troubled Minds Radio.
Mike. You've heard it here.
What's that? Say that again.
Censorship.
Yes, we like to censor people, except we don't. That's what we have. Open lines, open comments on. Notice if you go to YouTube, you can leave a comment. You can say, you know what, these guys suck. They don't know anything about anything, and you leave the comment there. We'll leave it there. You know why? Because we're not draconian bastards like the government, like academia, like all these guys that need to completely control their own narratives. Because you know what? We think for ourselves. And we trust that if you guys listen for more than a couple minutes, you'll understand that we're not there to judge you, and we know that an open mind is not there to actually judge us. You're there for the conversation, and that's why we're here, and that's why we do the show. So, open book, open lines, open Discord, open website, open comments on YouTube, Facebook, what have you. Here we are. Open book. An open book, Frank and I. And we're still waiting for a guy to call us and tell us we're full of crap. So if you're out there and you think we're full of it, please call us. And we will actually be nice to you until you're not nice to us. So there we go. But anyway, all right, let's Frank said let's go long. So we went long. We went a little bit long. But want to actually plug the website and Frank's Illuminati one more time there, Frank?
Yeah, so again, it's only a matter of time, especially with shows like this, before Facebook kicks us off. Like some of these comments we've made tonight, someone could misinterpret them, wrongfully misinterpret them, and bye-bye Facebook, bye-bye YouTube. So by going to the website, troubledminds.org, by going there, signing up for the mailing list, you'll know where to find our shows. You'll know where to pay attention when we inevitably get censored. So it helps us communicate with you. It helps us keep this discussion going. We've heard such amazing calls, such amazing comments, good stories, good sources of information. We actually pulled up this Black Knight satellite article from the ISS, but we don't have time to talk about it. So we'll move that to a different show. So many good sources of information from you guys. And how do they suppress that? How do they stop this momentum we're building? How do they stop this knowledge that we're accruing and putting together? Well, they'll just kick us off. And it's happened time and time again. It happens all the time. So go to the website, sign up for the mailing list. And if we disappear one day, it's not because we did it willingly. It's because they kicked us off. So go there. You'll know where to find us when we're inevitably banned.
There you go. There's numerous ways to join the Discord, even if you have no intention of calling in. If you join it, we can reach you there and leave you messages. Chat messages. It works both ways, so it works like that. Or you can go straight to the website and see what happened if we were banned. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys. It's these type of comments are not allowed in today's world. So there you go. Anyway, there's the last plug. Here we go. I'm going to pound some outro music. You got like 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes if you want to call. So I'm going to let Frank start the outro because he hates the music. It drives him nuts. But, yeah, you start this, Frank, and then I'm going to hit the music. But,
So we're going to look into strategies to avoid alien abductions. We're going to look into alien abductions themselves, and we're going to look into these out-of-body experiences. We're going to keep looking into these topics that you guys keep bringing up because, again, the knowledge, the sharing, it's amazing. So thank you for listening. Thank you for calling in. We enjoy doing the show. We enjoy talking with you, and we learn more every day. And I think that's ultimately the sign of progress, is learning more every day. So let's keep doing it together.
There you go. How eloquent. An outro by Frank Pierce. Yes. All right, so we have a poll. It's a Thanksgiving show is 75% is hell yes, and 25% is nah, eat turkey. So I'll aim for an early Thanksgiving and see if my wife doesn't murder me. So we'll see what happens. If we're not here, you'll forgive me. If we are here, Thursday is Thursday, 8 p.m. If we're not, you'll see us Sunday. So we'll keep this a surprise. I'll take the poll into account and arm wrestle with the wife. But okay, so as the music goes, so the world turns. And here you are, listening to Troubled Minds Radio. We appreciate you sticking through. It's a long show. We appreciate all the comments, all the calls, etc., so on. You guys have some amazing points, and you're teaching us a lot, and we appreciate that. So with that said, oh, the comments, you guys are amazing. One more time, this is Troubled Minds Radio. Don't forget to tell your friends. Don't forget to tell your family that I am your host, Michael Strange. And I'm here with your co-host, Frank Pierce. Thank you for listening. And from our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.